be. Star on the tree and like a star on the helmet.
Ooh, this is true.
Said we'd be here no matter what, guys, and here we are. Welcome into Cover 4. Dave, Tay, Barry. I'm in the spirit of the Christmas holiday season. Not in the spirit of the Cowboys this morning, but we're still going to talk about it.
You have to. You have to. Break it down for us, everybody.
You got any words? You good?
None of them are nice, so I'm just trying to keep them to myself.
You want to stay on the nice list.
I want to not get a lump of coal in my stocking on Wednesday. Yeah.
But this team gets lots of coal.
Yeah, they do.
7-8 on the season.
Ooh.
With still, fellas and ladies, a chance to back into the playoffs.
But not a chance to have a winning record this year.
Ooh, that's ugly.
Let's get to the highlights.
Yeah,
Let's get
why
to the
not?
highlights.
Let's relive
It's
it.
going to be the best that
Let's
you get
relive
this
it all.
year. Here
Why
we
not?
go. Dallas Goedert, a problem for the Cowboys.
Everybody thought it was going to be Ertz, including myself.
No, they did a good job of
They
limiting
did a
Ertz.
great job of limiting him. But
Yeah, well, he
Goddard.
was injured most of the game.
Here's
Why?
the option that I
No,
saw in
why?
the game. I didn't
Why?
love it. It ended in a fumble.
I don't care. Zeke hit his head and had to come out. That's fine. Why would you run that play? That play hasn't worked all year. Don't do
Heard that
that.
Dak changed it at the line.
Burn that play.
always do
Well,
this.
whatever. Dak
East and West,
coaches,
I don't-
burn that play forever.
Yeah, for sure.
Dak misses a wide open Amari Cooper a little high. Coop could have jumped more, maybe used a second hand, but no doubt this connection was off all night.
That
Vicious miss.
12 targets and 8 catches.
Play the game
Or
right
4
here.
catches.
Season high drops on the day, too.
38-yard catch.
Miscommunication.
Still 10-6 at this point, and then Miles Sanders goes in for the 1-yard score.
Carson Wentz crushed these guys with a whole bunch of people that you've never heard of.
With literal nobody.
He pulled a Tom Brady, man.
There were 11 starters who did not finish this game for the Eagles yesterday.
Surprised they even had 11 to start with. Missing Michael Gallup here on fourth down.
That was the look they wanted, though. Not having Cooper and Cobb on the field. That's what they wanted.
But you didn't even have to go all the way to the end zone. That's the thing. They were on the 22-yard line.
I can't imagine having the season on the line and not wanting Amari Cooper or Randall Cobb on the field.
The reason I
don't
disagree with
understand
that
that
is
at
I
all.
saw
It doesn't
nothing from
make
Coop
sense.
all game long. But anyways,
No,
here's
you're
the
right.
final stats. Look at the time of possession. Look at the third down
3 of 14.
conversion for the Cowboys. They were hanging around 50% a couple weeks ago.
3 or 14. You're just not going to win games if you go 3 or 14 on the money down. I mean, it's just not happening. It's just not happening.
And also not scoring any touchdowns.
Yeah, that'll hurt you as
In
well.
a do or die game.
Well, let's
9
talk
points.
about the Cowboys defense for a sec.
Yeah, let's do it.
Well, I was hearing time and time again, if this defense has to play more than 29 minutes on the field, it's just an automatic loss, it seems like. And it's funny because we're talking about this beat-up Eagles team who is going to get worn down. The Cowboys defense got worn down.
Yeah.
Where is D-Law? He is the highest paid player in franchise history for the Dallas Cowboys. He has had 0.5 sacks in the last 7 games and only had 4.5 in the first 8 games. So, D-Law, where are you? We need you. We need your best players. We're talking about these receivers who weren't in there, but where are the defensive plays?
I think you used the present tense right there. We need you. It's past tense now. We needed you.
Yeah.
We
Oh.
needed you.
Oh.
It's a wrap. Like you don't control your own destiny anymore. Maybe you can get lucky, but the Cowboys needed you, all of you, honestly, and didn't get it at all.
Just needed to be woken up there.
Oh, and more yards for the Eagles receivers on the first drive than they had in the entire game last.
And just looking
last
at
week.
the eye test, I mean, I feel like this Eagles team was just playing at a different level, just a different speed, a different intensity than the Cowboys. I mean, they were running around these guys. I
So
mean,
you're telling me that even though they had a way more depleted roster coming onto this field, they had maybe more intensity, more heart for this game?
Think about how many teams this team had to play, having a first place schedule. They had to play teams like the Patriots, the Rams, all these different teams. This was the second most allowed total offense on the year.
That play caused a benching.
that showed you the intensity right there. I mean, he could have went up and stopped him short, and he just let him run
And
right
that
through
was
him.
early in the game.
You
How
can-
on the third play are you not ready to
Yeah,
tackle?
how do you not
hate
talk
on
about that
Cheeto's
going into the
coverage
game?
like all you want. You can hate on it, but the effort on that tackle, that's what's going to get you benched, and it did.
That was disgusting.
All right, let's go to the locker room, hear what the Cowboys had to say more on the offensive side of the ball about not scoring a touchdown yesterday.
Yeah, we didn't get it done. We're too talented of a team and individuals to not make the plays, starting with myself. And it's disappointing, it's frustrating, but we all take responsibility. And as I said, it begins with me.
Just the way they were playing, we could have ran like more deep routes. I feel like the go ball was a good route to run tonight, but we didn't really get to it.
how can you say, we're a better team if we didn't go out there and beat them? When it was time to do it in the crunch time, we needed one win to solidify the division, and we couldn't do it. So I wouldn't say that, you can't just say that we're a better team because we may have better players on the roster. I do believe we're a better team, but the team that goes out there and plays the best is the one that's going to win, and that's what happened tonight.
All right, taking a final look at the numbers for Dak Prescott. Obviously, the AC joint was more serious than we thought, and missing practice and not throwing the ball all week long was more serious than we thought.
Can't buy it. Sorry. I can't.
Have you had an AC joint injury, Dave?
I haven't, but they didn't even list him as questionable or anything on the injury report. Like, they straight up didn't even list it.
So you think him being off all night was just at random?
If it was, I can't buy that in a situation like that.
I think it was lack of practice time.
Yeah.
Just getting that connection. Yeah, I don't think the shoulder really affected his throwing motion and power. Yeah, I think the timing was off.
First,
I'm glad we're showing some of these highlights because drops were a big part of it.
Oh, it was huge.
He didn't get a lot of help. When Jason Witten is dropping wide open balls, it says a lot. Michael Gallup had an unbelievable drop. But again,
okay, so
the plays were there to be made, and I'm sure his shoulder did hurt, but you don't list it on the injury report. Same thing goes for Amari Cooper.
It was hurting during the game. Think it was more of just missing practice, being out of rhythm. But the word "but" is coming up because we're going to talk about Amari Cooper, wide receiver 1 for this team. Did you see enough from him yesterday?
No,
not at all.
He has had 1 touchdown in the last 6 games of this season. Amari Cooper, the number 1 guy, the guy you traded a first-round pick for, has had 1 touchdown in the last 6 games.
This isn't totally fair to Amari because I'm not in his head. I can't read his thoughts, but just based on what we saw last night and talking to him in the locker room, I think things didn't go their way early and it got in his head. Like, he looked so frustrated in this game. He looked mentally, he looked like he wasn't all the way there because he wasn't getting the looks he wanted, because they weren't calling the plays right, or the plays he wanted. I don't know. Yeah. I honestly don't know, but it is such a weird microcosm of how bad this game was that 4th and 8, it happened right in front of me on the sideline. Amari runs a go route. They look for him. It's incomplete. And he jogs off to the sideline, which looked like his decision. And then, so not only does he not go back out for 4th down, but nobody's telling him to go back out for 4th down either. He's just like, I'm done with this, and the coaching staff looked like they were like, okay, fine, be done with it.
Make the most with what we have. And honestly, if the coaches had to choose, I would have chose Cobb or Gallup anyways.
Well, and here's the other thing. If we're looking at Dak's stats, would you guys have thought that he would have had 44 pass attempts on the day? No. Zeke, 13 carries. Yeah. When Lindsay was giving a bold prediction, I thought this one is coming true for sure. 3 touchdowns for Zeke. He has had so much success against this Eagles defense. And here we are. They dictated the game yesterday. I think it was Brandon Graham who came out and said, we're not going to let him do his eating motion. He couldn't. He literally couldn't. And if you're looking at a team that's more talented and they get dictated to by a team that is completely depleted.
They were hungry.
That's the thing, though, is there's nothing wrong with not crashing into a brick wall. Like, Fletcher Cox is still out there. Brandon Graham is still out there. This was an Eagles secondary that was atrocious on the outside. No starting cornerbacks. Teams picking on them out by the numbers all season long. Did the Cowboys do that at all? Michael Gallup dropping a deep ball down the sideline. Dak overshooting Tavon Austin on what could have been a touchdown play. Man. Enough blame to go around for everybody, but the inability to take advantage of the Eagles secondary was baffling.
Well, and here's the thing, we're talking about what we said on the Friday show. I knew this game would be decided at halftime, and I know everyone was tweeting out before the half that they are 0-7 when they are trailing at halftime, now 0-8. Is that really a team that can make a deep playoff run? No. They can't come back?
They won't even make the playoffs.
It doesn't look like that. I don't think that's bold. But if the Eagles can put that effort together against the Cowboys, I don't know how they lose to the Giants.
Yeah, because
can we beat the Redskins?
Emptied their bucket yesterday, and one of them came away with a win, and the other limped away with nothing.
Did the Cowboys empty their bucket too soon against the Rams? That's what I have to look at now. Did you give too much in the Rams game?
No, you don't. When you empty your bucket and you win, you come away with juice and momentum and confidence. And
here we were thinking that they could build off that.
Fool's gold. I heard it so many times on the radio. Fool's gold. Let's go to Merry Christmas or Bah Humbug.
Okay.
I'm going to throw something out to you guys, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong when I say these things. This season proved that Ezekiel Elliott is the most important piece to this team.
I'm gonna say Merry Christmas, or I'm gonna agree with you on that one. I think Zeke. I mean, if he's rolling, this team. He was 5-0 with this team when going against the Eagles, going over 100. So I gotta agree with you on that one.
Merry Christmas all the way. Yeah, Zeke was 5-0 now. Now has that one L column. But Dave's saying bah humbug. I can already see it.
I am gonna say bah humbug.
But why do you not see it? They made that point clear before the season when they signed him.
Well, absolutely they did, but now what do they have to do? They have to decide what they want to do with Dak Prescott. And if he's not the most important part of this team, then that's a conversation they need to have, because that's a lot of money that they're going to have to give up. And I think the world of Zeke, I think he's a great player, but if your quarterback's not good enough to win when nothing else is working, then again, that's a conversation you need to have about whether that quarterback needs to be signed.
What did Carson Wentz do yesterday?
He lifted his team.
Wow.
And he had no other help.
Put it on.
He balled out. And he wasn't even like dropping dimes everywhere. He was just making the smart plays. And in Dak Prescott's defense, his players were helping him out. They were catching open balls, making plays, getting balls.
No-name players.
Pass rush was the downfall of this team this season.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on that one.
Mary again?
Mary on that one. Last year we saw this team making a whole bunch of splash plays. They were a top 10 defense, and I think it was a lot to do with the DeMarcus Lawrence and the defensive pass rush they had. This year it's just not going on. We have Robert Quinn, but he's the only one that's really putting up a lot of sack numbers.
I can't single out just the pass rush. I just in general think it's the defense.
Okay.
They don't get takeaways. They don't get sacks. They don't make game-changing plays. Ironically, they played the better game. Nobody played a good game yesterday, but they played the better game between the offense and the defense yesterday. But that hasn't been the story of this season at all. Like, they haven't held up their end of the bargain way more often than not.
But I'm glad we're seeing some highlights of Mitchell Trubisky. Go back to when they played Sam Darnold. They've made some of these quarterbacks look like legitimate Pro Bowl guys. For teams that aren't even going to the playoffs.
They didn't play terribly, terribly awful yesterday, but they have at several points this season.
Yes, they have.
Jordan Lewis should start at outside corner next week.
Merry Christmas.
I want to hear.
Go ahead, Dave.
Merry Christmas, Jordan, because you deserve it. You like buried on the depth chart. People always wondering why the guy can't get some shine. Consistently plays well, makes plays, takes Cheeto, not making a tackle for him to get the shot. And what's there to lose? Whatever. You put him in there.
Are you still riding with Cheeto?
No, I think they need to move on from Cheeto. But I think his best position, Jordan Lewis, is the nickel position. But if you're saying he needs to move over instead of Cheeto, I'm definitely agreeing with that one.
He can play in the slot later in the game. But send him out there in base for the start.
I gotcha.
There's who knows? Maybe he gets some kind of contract incentive out of it.
Chill. He's gonna have to play all game if the defense is on the field all game.
True. Well, Merry Christmas. I don't know.
Secret Santa, thanks for leading me into this, because
You're
it's
welcome.
time for us to give some gifts to our buddies here. If you could give the Cowboys one thing, what would you give them? What would you bundle up in a present for them to open at this point of the season going into week 17?
For me, it's a timely gift, because if I could give them anything, I would give them the gift of downtime, the off season. They look like they need it, honestly. We are exhausted watching and talking about this team. And listen, they're well compensated for it.
They'll be there.
They are well compensated for it, but it's got to be exhausting being on a team that's this disappointing with people like us talking trash about them. They can't figure it out. You know that they're pissed off behind closed doors. It's time. This has been an exhausting season. I don't think there's a Cowboys fan out there that genuinely wants to see them in the playoff anyway.
Which is wild.
But it speaks to how crazy this season has been. So my gift to you is the offseason. Play the Redskins, try to end the season on a happy note, and we'll try again in 2020.
My gift to them is also timely. It's a time machine. I feel like this team needs to go all the way back to July 25th in Oxnard, California. Rethink some things. Rethink about how you're going to play out this year. How are you going to do it? Because the fact of the matter is that they are ending this year with a 4,000-yard passer, 2 1,000-yard wide receivers, a 1,000-yard running back, and 3 Pro Bowl linemen. So make that offense as explosive as you can. Think about your defense. If you're going to pay DeMarcus and Jalen Smith before the season gets going, make sure that they have to live up to that standard. And then, you could go back to little games. I brought it up, the Jets game. These games that you thought, we don't have to win. but you needed to win now because you are not going to have a winning record this year. No matter if you make the playoffs, doesn't matter now.
This is true. For me, my Secret Santa, I'm going to give them a win over, or the Giants, a win over the Eagles. I mean, they need it bad.
Wow,
They need it bad.
Keeping hope alive.
Yeah, I'm just trying to do everything I can to give them a hope.
Believe it though, Barry.
I don't know if I believe it with my heart, but they need it. They need it. They don't control their own destiny. Maybe Saquon Barkley and the boys can go out there and do some damage to this Eagles team. Danny Dimes dropped 4 touchdowns the other day. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe they can get into the
Danny
playoffs.
Dimes is going to cost the Giants Chase Young. So that's Merry Christmas to Cowboys fans that Chase Young won't be in New York.
It's so weird what all is like. It's like bottom of the barrel almost, but there's really a lot kind of on the line for all these poor teams.
so
It's just
weird.
very with the draft and
The holiday season, I remember distinctly reading a line that said the Cowboys will clinch the NFC East before Halloween. Look at where we're at now.
Yikes.
Christmas will pass before
said
that's
that one?
decided.
What do you got, Linz? What are you giving
Secret
the Cowboys?
Santa, it doesn't really fit with what we're talking. We've got nice on my sweater, happy holidays. I want to give them the gift of hate. Now it might be a little too intense. Let me tell you what I want to give you the gift of hate. Don't think this team hates to lose as much as I'd like them to hate to lose. Got DeMarcus Lawrence saying, "Hey, good luck, Giants." You got Jalen tweeting clear eye view after the game. I need this team to be disgusted with losing so much next year that it burns, that they can't sleep at night like my boy Sean Lee. That's how he rolls. You guys with me?
Do you think Michael Bennett felt that way and that's why he exploded in the locker room? Like, why are you guys not more frustrated?
I need to give you the gift of hate. I want you to hate losing so bad that you can't stand it. And I know the fans want to see that out of this team too.
Well said. Well said.
I didn't want to go there on Christmas.
Seriously,
For
this is
me,
the happiest, most hate-free person I've ever known. So
I want to give you the gift of
carries
hate.
a lot of weight.
Have to drop knowledge on it.
We told you we'd be here no matter what, guys. We may take Christmas Eve and Christmas off if that's cool with anyone, but we'll be back Thursday for sure.
Yeah.
Day after. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, all the above.